Hey guys, Christine McKinley here, coming to you live with another episode of What's Up Wednesdays. I am between appointments, so I'm going to make this pretty quick, but I do these videos so that you can be as informed as possible so that the sale of your home or the purchase of another home goes as smooth as possible. A lot can go wrong in real estate, so it's really important to have an agent that has seen enough transactions and knows problems that can come up and how to fix them before they even happen. So today I'm going to talk about how to make closing day as smooth as possible and how to avoid any mistakes or any conflicts on the day of closing. So closing day should be a very fun day. By that point, the loan will have been approved days prior to closing. There should be no problems with the buyer's ability to close on a financial standpoint on the day of closing. So that is a lot of people's concerns is, well, what if we get up to the day of closing and the buyers don't have the money or the buyers don't have the funds? Well, 3 days prior to closing, they need to sign certain disclosures and they need to have something called a clear to close from their lender. This is their good to go. So when we get the clear to close 3 days prior, we're good, we're in the clear, everybody can celebrate. And then closing day is really just about signing papers, and that's the day that the buyers take possession of the home. So all should go good on closing day. However, I see a couple things happen and that can upset some of the parties, so I'm going to go through that now. So first of all, sellers, you need to be completely moved out the day of closing. That is when the buyers, when they get the new keys, that is their home now. They will take possession the day of closing. So ideally, the buyer will do a walkthrough either that morning of closing or the day before, the night before probably, to make sure that the property is in the same position that they hope that it is. So it should be in the same position or better than when they saw it initially at their showing. So what they're really looking for during this walkthrough is that, there hasn't been any major damage, no roof leaks, unexpected that they're gonna purchase and then they didn't know there's a roof leak. The water heater hasn't exploded, nothing crazy like that has happened. No one's broken into the house and vandalized it. So they're just making sure that the property looks like it's supposed to. So when they do this walkthrough, you don't have to be moved out then, but it would be nice if you were. But the day of closing, you do need to be moved out completely. You shouldn't be packing up your stuff. You should be out and the house should be swept. Okay, so none of your stuff is left behind. Don't try to leave stuff behind for them to throw out. That doesn't make people happy. And at the walkthrough, they need to trust and know that you will be moved out of the home, or else that can be a huge issue. Also, I'm going to read to you from the FAR Bar As Is contract, which is what we are writing our purchase agreements on. So this is in the contract. We do not write this in. This is default in the contract. This is what stays with the home. The sellers, you do not take these personal items with you unless you've negotiated otherwise. I'm going to read it to you. So here's the list. The range/oven, refrigerator, dishwasher, disposal, ceiling fans, intercom, light fixtures, so little chandeliers, like I've got this little chandelier in my house. If I were selling my house, I would need to say, hey guys, I really like the chandelier and I'm gonna take that with me. If I do not disclose that chandelier needs to stay. And if at the walkthrough or at closing, if that chandelier is gone, there's gonna be an issue because the buyer assumes that chandelier is going to stay in the home and it is their chandelier and they bought it. So light fixtures, drapery rods, and draperies. Yes, you have to leave the rods that go into the wall and the drapes unless stated otherwise. Again, if the buyer comes in for their walkthrough and the drapes are gone and they think they're going to stay, they do not have to close. It is written into the contract that those drapes convey with the sale of the home. Window treatment, so blinds and all that stuff, smoke detectors. This is another big one, garage door openers, security gate, entry access remotes, stuff like that. So you need to disclose if you are going to leave your appliances, if you want to take your appliances, especially the fridge. That's one that often we go into a home and it is gone and the seller has already moved out and they've already taken the fridge, or maybe they've sold the fridge to somebody. We had that happen last week, actually. Our seller kind of forgot and gave the fridge to her son, who was down at UCF. He's a student, and luckily he could just bring it back. So our buyers were okay with closing because they trusted that our seller was going to bring back the fridge. But it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes they sell it, and that means that the seller is going to have to buy the buyer a new fridge. So again, we will remind you, if you are our client, you are our seller, we will go through this with you a couple days before closing, a couple days before you move out, saying, hey, remember we agreed to leave these items for the buyer. And so let's hold true to that and let's have a good closing. And note that the washer and dryer is not on that list. So you also have to decide if you are going to take your washer and dryer with you. In real estate, everything is negotiable. Sometimes the buyer will ask for it initially. Sometimes they won't, so everything's negotiable, even the appliances within the home. What else do I have here? Keys. So keys are also a big one. Sellers, what you will do is you will leave your keys at the title company. This allows a smooth transition. You will give your keys to a third party, and once the buyers have come in and signed, then the title company will hand the keys over to them once their money is in and everything's good and everything's funded and closed. So you don't have to worry about the buyers getting the keys early and then not closing. That will go straight to the title company. So let me know if you guys have any good stories on closing day mistakes. Maybe I'm missing something and I can go over something again. Really, it is up to you and your agent to review the contract a few days before closing. Make sure that everything is lined up. Make sure you're out of the house on time. All of your appliances that you've agreed to leave are left. And again, if it is in the contract and they and you took it, the buyer can put up a fight and they could not close. So every situation's different, and so just make sure to pay attention to that. Ask your agent a couple days before closing what needs to stay, what needs to go, and make sure to do a nice sweep through of the home. Some sellers even write a little note. I know we had a closing in Oviedo on Endicott last week, and it was a single mom selling a home to another single mom. So that was really heartfelt. I think they had the same number of kids, and she left her a little note, and I think she bought her a cute little succulent or something. So anyways, closings do not have to be ugly. They go pretty smooth as long as you're working with the right agent that prepares you ahead of time. And I hope that this helps. Let me know if you have any questions about mistakes or avoiding mistakes on closing day, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.